Всем доброе утро, кто проснулся. Мы на самом деле рассматривали несколько сценариев того, как будет наполнен зал.
Several scenarios of what's going to happen in this room, but yesterday there was a talk that actually very few people woke up yesterday for the morning talks, and so we did have our doubts. I'm going to say a couple of words of what's going to happen, and then I will pass the floor to the guys who do the PTFS, the Positive Technologies Financial Services product. Now, I don't know whether you've had the experience of attending PhD 1, for example, last year in Gorky Park, when we tried to make this event as open as possible and attractive, not only for the techie guys, not only for the IT guys and so on, but earlier this year, when we saw very important queries from business people that there was too much talk about business and too much talk about tech and too little about business, we decided to create a business track to raise the issues that are interested to business people primarily. So today we will have 4 presentations on financial services. Positive Technologies has unveiled its financial services product about 6 months ago. Secondly, we will talk about transparency, our accountability, and our public position. Of course, we need to be present in the public expanse as a development company, as an industrial company, and we will also talk about some management ideas. And the 4th topic will be kind of a crosstalk between business and tech, because more than half the company are engineers, programmers, and product managers, and we will talk about IT infrastructure, data lakes, storage and processing of big amounts of data through the effective organization, through the we will look at it as a business. PH Days was conceived as an event where tech types meet non-tech types. So a meeting between jackets and t-shirts. And I think we've been moderately successful there. This is PhD 13. Of course, it is only the second open festival, and interestingly, yesterday we had 40,000 participants. Today we are looking at 100,000 people attending today's events. Now, financial services. This is a story of a product which was born from actually the need from our sales force and from our customers. Our sales force is very progressive, and with every customer they try to formulate a cyber security strategy for years ahead. As you know, Positive Technologies doesn't want just to sell a product. We want to sell something that will make our customer protected and defensible in terms of cyber. We're talking about 5 to 7 products per customer, and the customer will need to evolve in terms of their business processes. So it's all, pretty expensive. However, it is pretty costly if this is not safe and secure. So I'm sorry. Sorry, I have not introduced myself. I'm Andrey Kuzin, and at Positive,
как раз бизнеса изнутри, то есть все, что
I
касается
support
финансов, все, что касается ребят-юристов,
businesses
IT-поддержка и так далее.
from inside, like corporate finance, legal, and so on and so forth. So, okay, our financial guys came to us and said, the customers who signed up for our products 2 to 3 years ago, they want liquidity, and they see that you can actually buy factories on credit, you can buy flats, houses on credit, but you can't buy cybersecurity on credit. How so? And we came to banks and we said, okay, can we do something about it? Banks turned out to be pretty interested in that, because I think that Sber, the largest bank in Russia, says that cybersecurity market is going to hit 500 billion rubles by 2027. That's a big market. So we started to talk to banks, and we came up with a product which was strategically concepted in September-October 2023. And in the end of the year, even though a deal typically takes 8 months to 18 months from start to delivery, about 10% of our sales since then
ребятами, которые закредитовали эти сделки, и,
has been serviced in a way that actually included loans from banks. And in 2024, we have seen even more interest from our customers. So we are going to have about 1 hour discussion. And I'd like to ask Irina Akopyan, who is head of our corporate finance and financial services markets. I'll ask for a 10 to 15 minute outlook, and then we will have a couple of customers who will tell us whether they are interested, why they are interested, and what do we want as a future. Of course, we would like to be, we're a small room here, so we would like to be as interactive as possible. If you think that this product lacks something strategically and you would like it to develop in some particular direction, please share it with us. Leaping ahead, I'd like to say right at the outset that we would like, that we wouldn't like to do it all alone, to develop this market, to share this market. We want to share our experience with our colleagues, with our competitors, and we would eventually would like to come to the government with a vision of cyber security development, and we would like to offer to the government an environment in which it can make sure it can invest in the defensibility and in the protection of various sectors of economy. The government can provide tax breaks or loan breaks and subsidization of interest rates and so on. Now, I'd like to ask Ms. Akopyan to talk about the product. Hello, everyone, dear customers, dear partners. Very happy to see everyone here, and I thank you for waking up in the early morning on Friday to listen to what we have to say about our financial services. We will have a prize for the best question. We are expecting a QR code from our organizers, as far as I understand. In the end of my presentation, we will be welcoming questions. And of course, yes, that is it. So you can make a photo of this QR code, and we will have a special prize for someone who asks the best question. Next slide, please.
Так, о чем мы сегодня хотим с вами поговорить?
Now, what we would like to talk to you about, how to finance a 2 to 3 program of cybersecurity without undue stress for your finances. Cybersecurity faster and cheaper. Is this reality or is this utopia? And like Andrey said, we'd like to talk about the support that we would like to get in the future from the government. So, what we have now, every year our customers have to think about how to fund their cybersecurity, whether to fund that from their equity, or from their operational cash flow, or to look for outside financing. So, what we would like to see and what we're offering already, you buy all products in 1 year, which will bring you to a high level of cybersecurity, and the budget will be 100% banking financing, including our subsidy. So the benefits are, you get a shorter time to security. Our customers get a beneficial interest and other terms on financing, and we participate in that financing. What government support we have now? We have, pinpoint support. This is what government calls it, and every time the government says, "Oh no, we've run out of money." We have now government regulations 550 and 1598, but under these two regulations, there are relatively few deals on the market. The central bank interest rate is currently pretty high, so in the current realities, it is pretty difficult for any company to go and seek outside financing for cybersecurity. This is why we at Positive have created a program for the financing of cybersecurity solutions in order to make cybersecurity solutions more affordable for Russian customers. What we want is to create a situation in which there is government support for cybersecurity, and together with businesses, our customers would like to offer the government the stack of technologies, the stack of solutions which they think are the most important. Our program, well, some of our customers already know what our program is because we launched it last year, but I'll say a couple of words about this. Together with our banking partners, we have created a financing program. Together with the bank, we enter into an agreement that banks get premiums. The banks provide financing to the end user on the basis of a classic financing contract, and we subsidize part of the interest rate. We already have such agreements with Sberbank, Rosbank, and Alfa Bank, large banks. We always talk to other banks as well, and we include other services in our offering. Currently, our customers get agency factoring and classic loan financing for 1 through 36 months. We are planning to introduce leasing and some other financial instruments as well. So this is how this process works. I understand that it might look like a pretty complicated scheme to you, but it is very straightforward. We, together with our banking partner, make a contract under which we subsidize their interest rate. Our customer goes to the bank, goes to us, and makes a contract to buy our solutions, and under this contract, we go to our banking partner. If the bank has some limits under our program, they provide provide financing with our subsidized interest rate. Otherwise, they will have to, of course, work with classical financing. So the customer actually pays to the bank, and we settle this with the bank on our side. Why this would be beneficial to our customers? For info security gets faster protection. For finance, it would be important that the internal cash flow stays within the company. It can be directed elsewhere. For the budgeting service, and of course, the interest rate is lower than the average interest rate, and their credit portfolio looks better on the average. For the budgeting service, they don't have to correct the budgets, and overall, this makes the company's finances look better, more healthy, and there is less stress on the immediate cash flow. These are responses to key questions that our customers come up with. Maybe you will ask us new ones on the floor or online. So customers say, why do you think I would be interested? Like I said, the biggest benefit is shorter time to the highest level of security. And of course, you get outside financing at an interest rate which is lower than the key interest rate of the Bank of Russia. That means that you don't have to divert your internal cash flow. Are there any risks? No, because you are entering into a standard contract to buy our services and solutions, and you have a standard loan contract with the bank. So you choose your bank, right, which should be part of our program, of course. Then you join this financing program. You get the financing from the bank. You may engage us in this process, you may not. We are subsidizing part of your interest rate. Now, what we want to do with PTFS going forward, we want to make a comprehensive hardware and software solutions. This is what we are financing under this program. We will continue talking to other banks, and some of the representatives of those banks are in this room already. We will look at optimizing further the terms and the procedure of financing. We want to talk about government support. We want to go to the government and offer them certain solutions. And if we get any government subsidies, that would translate, of course, into better terms for our customers. And we want to transform the program into a standalone and unique product on the market of financial services. This is a customer case. It's been in operation for more than 2 years. I cannot name the company, but otherwise the information is authentic. A large manufacturing company. Our company is a top player in their industry. Last year, they became a victim to a hack attack, and the company decided that they would invest in cybersecurity. Info security looks at the security perimeter, and they have chosen something that cost them $1 billion. Their previous budget was 400 million rubles per year. So classically, info security goes to the finance, to corporate finance, and says we need twice more money than last year. Corporate finance says no. At the same time, we announced our loan program. Our customer found out about that, and the financial service, corporate finance said, yes, we like this outside financing. We chose the bank for our customer. The bank had limits under this program, so the deal went very quickly, and the customer got the terms for the loan 5 percentage points lower than their normal interest rate and 3 percentage points lower than the key interest rate of the Bank of Russia. The maturity of the loan is 3 years. Instead of 2026, the company has reached the top level of info security this year. That is the end of my short presentation. If you have not had the time to photo this QR code, please do so. Ask your questions. We will be giving someone a prize for the best question. And while you're thinking about that, I will ask the panelists to find your seats on the stage. So we have people from banks who are already our partners, people who we would like to be our partners, and our customers as well.
Нет, сидите, все хорошо.
No. You will sit down, I will be standing.
С представления, Евгений, начнем с тебя
And
тогда.
I think I'll introduce people. Evgeny, can you introduce yourself, please?
Давайте проверим. Нет, у меня тоже работает. Вот.
So, works.
Коллеги, доброе утро.
The microphone works. Hello, everyone, distinguished colleagues. And I'd like to thank you for the invitation to this event. As I was actually traveling, I thought what were my associations with Luzhniki Stadium. For someone, Luzhniki is about football, it's about concerts, it's about marathons, and so it's positive. And today, Luzhniki equals positive technologies. And you expand each year. I see that you are moving forward very vigorously, so thank you for inviting me to this. So, what do I have to say about this? We have some history, but not much history in this country of using financial services in information security. Whatever we've had was related to international companies, and those international companies have gone, like HP Finance. They've been doing that for years, and thanks very much to them, but they are not here. And our understanding is that Positive Technologies, well, they are the first info company, Russian info company. They not only decided that we want to do that, they implemented that. This is a great solution. It works already. It works with several banks. I don't think that we are competitors here. We are colleagues. Why? Because every company that's interested in InfoSec, and I don't think that there are companies who are not interested in InfoSec. I'll give you an example. About 2 days ago, a company with a turnover of 800 billion rubles per year was hacked. Everything stopped on their side, and they sent us a letter. We are sorry, but we are going to do certain things slowly. Right? So, of course, such companies, they have open borrowing limits in many banks. So they can go to a lot of banks which are comfortable to them. And Positive Technologies does a very good job expanding the number of banks they work with, because they educate the market, they create a more conducive environment for the entire business. I think this is very positive. Sorry for the pun. This is very good dynamics. This is why my colleagues and I, we are colleagues, we're not competitors anymore. The solution as is already is already
вопрос, который возникает,
a breakthrough.
у нас нету на это бюджета.
InfoSec is costly, right?
Есть бюджет.
And the first
Его
question
просто
in
можно
any company
распределить. Причем сделать это
is that we don't have a budget for this. We don't have
хорошим
capex for this. But
ценообразованием.
now you can
Поэтому
move
это
that
закрывает огромное
into
количество
OPEX,
вопросов.
and it's not
Но
going to
самое
be
главное,
very
то, что этот
costly to
продукт,
you
который создан,
when it is
который
OPEX.
работает, он
But it's
продолжает
not the most important thing.
эволюционировать. Поэтому мы
The
с коллегами,
most important thing is that
я
the
знаю,
product
что
that
коллеги
Positive
работают
is
и с другими
offering
банками точно
continues
так
its
же.
evolution.
Мы продолжаем
So
развивать
I
это.
know that
Мы
Positive
говорим
works
не
with
только
other banks
о
in the same
возможности
fashion.
работы
We
по
want
ПО. Мы
to
говорим о
be
том, что
part of
можно
this,
упаковать
part of the
ПО и
development.
ПО и хард. Какие
We
пропорции,
are
как
working
это
on
работает, какие
packaging
сроки могут
software
быть там,
and
от
hardware
2
together.
там, и больше лет, да? Ну, то есть
So
это
you
можно
can
смотреть,
discuss with
это
us
можно
all the
моделировать.
things,
И это подходит
the stack of
каждому
technology, how long it will take,
предприятию, да, просто
the time of
компании не
delivery, and so
задавались этим
on.
вопросом, и
And I
поэтому
think
мы
a
как раз
lot
хотели
of
поделиться
companies
нашим опытом
just
и
don't
призвать к
know
тому,
that
чтобы
such an
это как
opportunity
минимум
exists. And we
посмотреть
would
и
like,
изучить.
this is why we would
Но вот
like to
коротко,
share
наверное,
this
так.
experience, and
Спасибо,
this is
Евгений.
worth looking
Спасибо,
at.
коллеги. Я
This is
прошу
worth
прощения. У
asking a
меня
question
назначена
on.
встреча, я должен бежать.
I'm
Но
sorry,
понимаю,
I
что
have
могут
to
возникнуть
run.
вопросы, а особенно
I understand that
технические,
you
как это
might
сделать,
have
какие
questions,
сроки, что
especially
нужно
technical.
получить и так далее.
How do you
Я
do
специально
that?
попросил
What are the terms
присоединиться
and so
своих
on?
коллег.
This is why I have asked some of my colleagues. Daniil is raising a hand.
На стороне
I have asked my
Rosbank, и
colleagues to
Rosbank
join me.
лизинга разрабатывала
So
эту
Daniil
программу, поэтому Даниил и его коллеги
is
будут
the developer
рады
of
ответить на
this
все ваши
program on
вопросы,
the
если
side of
вдруг они
Rosbank
останутся.
Leasing.
Я
And
прошу
if you have
прощения
any
и
questions to
спасибо
Rosbank,
еще раз.
please ask them to Daniil. I am sorry,
Хорошего
I have to run. I
Спасибо,
wish you a
Евгений.
very good day.
Даниил, ну,
And
про вас
it's a great
так
program.
рассказал ваш руководитель. Присоединяйтесь к нам, выходите на сцену.
Well, Daniil, your boss has all but invited you on stage, and I think we can consider that as an invitation.
По крайней мере, чтобы мы понимали, кто есть кто.
Okay, let's just introduce everyone, because we have banks, we have customers on stage. Just a couple of words on everyone's part. I'm Moscow Credit Bank. I'm Valeriya Korneva, and I represent the customer unit on customer relationship management on IT, media, telecommunications, and so on. So, I mean, the tech things. I'm Alfa Bank. I'm Ekaterina Uphimtseva, head of customer relationships unit. So we can talk about all things customer. Yeah, I think the microphone is on. Hi, and thanks for the invitation. I'm Alexey Epishev, Sovcombank, also customer relationships unit. I specialize on financing of corporate customers.
Бизнес-компания Полюс. Меня зовут Алексей Лосев.
I represent Polюs, Alexey Losev, and I'm representing the corporate finance
Первый
function.
вопрос вкину в наш состав.
Can I kind of throw the first question on stage?
Вопрос такой, вообще исторический запрос на
I mean,
кредитование кибербеза.
looking back at history,
ПТФС в позитиве.
Before PTFS at Positive, you did have to invest in cybersecurity. So have you ever seen customers seeking outside financing for cybersecurity? Because as this product
компании там российских технологий, может быть,
came
какая-то
about,
там аналогия с иностранцами,
maybe
там, SAP, еще что-то,
you-
насколько, на ваш взгляд, там пойдет, не пойдет,
Maybe
но
you
начиная
know
все-таки с запроса
something
у
about
заказчиков есть, нет?
SAP, about international companies coming in. I think they were. But what about Russian customers? I'm Daniil Harin. I've been head of our vendor unit for 6 years, including IT financing. We have not had any project on financing the sale of software. I mean, there have been offerings of SAP, Oracle, some very complicated systems, and these are very expensive, capital-intensive projects, and the businesses wanted to focus on that when they talk to banks. Cybersec projects historically were very, intimate, very closed, and they always tried to finance that from equity. In the current reality, this has become much more relevant. The topic is much more relevant. The info security is much more capital intensive. So there is more interest in this segment these days.
Замечательно. Если говорить про целевые запросы, конкретно на кибербез, наверное, вот так вот не было напрямую. Дайте, пожалуйста. Мне кажется, вплоть до прошлого года все надеялись на русскую авось. Меня принесет, меня это не коснется. И все больше работали, наверное, над изменением своей такой тяжелой инфраструктуры. И неплохо иностранцы, на самом деле, были на рынке представлены.
And actually, there were a lot of foreigners on the market, and everyone felt, quote-unquote, covered. And software was not something that people wanted to seek outside financing for. But with cyber attacks becoming more high profile, everyone is becoming more aware of that. I recently saw the statistics that cyber attacks have been on the rise 30-40% per year and so on. And businesses started to think, why are we buying servers and other hardware and not trying to secure it? So I think this need is fundamentally on the rise, and that's a very healthy thing. Well, we discuss various topics with the customers when they come for negotiations, and they always say that yes, hackers are on the rise and they target our key security and so on. And we have always told them we have a partner, Positive Technologies, so it's kind of a lead generation between Alfa Bank and Positive Technologies. But now we can offer them something, a product. It's a product that you can take off the shelf, which we co-developed with Positive. We will lead you to a great company on info security. We can also provide you the financing for this. The bank has all the tools about this. We were very positive about this idea. We have classic lending, but we have learned that colleagues are thinking about leasing and factoring. I think we're considering this. So welcome to Alfa Bank for products, for services. We are open to any cooperation.
Давайте я продолжу. Буду солидарен полностью с коллегами. Последний, наверное, год-полтора наблюдается такая тенденция.
In the past year or year and a half, we have seen a very clear trend to
кто-то боится, кто-то
broader access to these products. Some customers are, of course, conservative. They are afraid of moving into a new market. And, of course, budgets are a problem. Some people want info security, but they say, well, right now we don't have the money. Let's wait, and so on. And this is why this product is very, very important. Of course, we are not the leaders, we are followers on this path, but from our shareholders and from our top management, I already have feedback that this is a great product and they want to be part of it too. So, Alexey, can you share with us what businesses in the real world think about this? Well, we have been users of Positive products. Maybe we don't use the entire stack, but we have a relationship anyway. And we have limits in all the banks that I see in front of me. But at the same time, our security service always notifies us of various threats that we are exposed to. several times a week. So the product is very interesting. I agree with Alexey that the current cost of financing the key interest rate is much higher than a year ago. So, of course, if there is a subsidy of the interest rate, that actually adds to the attractiveness of the product. I'll tell you a short story which actually brought us to where we are. Last year, together with our corporate finance guys, we went to talk to a corporate finance head of
даже не предприятия, там группа компаний, вот, у которых миллиардов кредитный портфель, это на самом деле там большая распределенная бизнесов. И вот у нас была дискуссия, вообще нужен продукт или не нужен. Ну, кажется, что вроде там все умеют крупные, по крайней мере, компании занимать, и в целом, кажется, что может и не надо, и так далее. Но дискуссия зашла в ту сторону, когда вот мы говорим, вот есть у вас стратегия, там, берем там крупную какую-нибудь дочку,
during the discussion, we said, okay, you have a strategy, you have a subsidiary, a large subsidiary, a telecom company. Cybersecurity is important to it. If it's exposed, I think the company can shut down.
Да, говорит, не тяните нас, корпоративный финансист говорит, не тяните нас в вашу проблематику юридическую, нам не надо.
$1 billion in 3 years. And the corporate finance says, please don't talk to us about cybersec. This is not our thing. But every year, people come to you for liquidity, and you don't give liquidity to them, and you always say, liquidity, it costs money. But now, Positive, with a banking partner, comes to you, and it says, okay, it costs $1 billion for 3 years, right? But there is some hardware. You should not buy it. You can lease it, and your interest rate would be different compared to a situation in which you take it piece by piece in different places. And then there is silence for a minute, and this is, okay, this is interesting. Let's talk about this. So after that little conversation, we actually learned that a lot of people who are pretty good at borrowing anyway, they still think that this is interesting. The product should be economic, should be comfortable to work with, should be convenient.
And в таком формате на сегодняшний день,
there should be some security. Even though a lot of the product is intangible.
Небольшое количество наших заказчиков, клиентов умеет пользоваться кредитованием.
But the provider can be kind of very soft on security, the bank, because of the relationship with the provider. This is why we decided to go to large banks and start talking about this. Maybe in the beginning it would not be very clear how this works, but I think people like SAP have done that in the past, so there is some experience in the world about this, there is some expertise, and the most important thing for the company is that they get cybersecurity right away. They reach the highest level of cybersecurity right away. Can we get an interactive question? Yes, I think. Yes, I think I have a question.
Я подойду.
Get the microphone there, please.
Nikolai Konkin, компания Trinities.
Nikolai Konkin, Trinities. I have 3 questions, I think.
Вы говорили, что кредитование.
Number 1, you said that you provide lending for both soft and hard.
А если обязательно покупать у Positive Technologies?
But do I have to buy hardware from Positive Technologies, or I mean, you understand what I'm asking? So the software comes from you. Okay, can you answer it right away, and then I'll continue. Okay. So this is how it looks.
Мы начинаем, крупноблочно с проектов долгосрочного строительства
At a high level,
на технологиях позитива. Это вот как бы то, что лежало
start building your cybersecurity on positive technology.
Во-первых, кибербез
so this is the fundamental. But
не обязательно на технологиях позитива.
We understand that we don't have to be we understand that we don't have to be exclusive. Some of our competitors may have some piece of cybersecurity that we don't specialize on. We try not to go too deeply into the hardware. Hardware is actually not our territory. But we are ready to get together a consortium of participants and go to the bankers and package it in a way financially that's convenient to you. So these are all complicated stories. You can't just go and buy a piece of hardware as a separate project. So answering to your question, I understand it doesn't have to come from Positive Technologies. Well, that was actually my second question. So can you include a solution from another vendor? And if a customer insists on another vendor, of course, that would be considered. So in an ideal world, we would look to our distributors who work with other vendors who may offer some of their solutions to our customers. We're not going to kind of defend our turf. We actually want to share with our colleagues how we do things, and we want to share these projects. The third question. So, of course, it's normal when a solution is the solution is ordered without any advance payment. But the next question is implementation. Right? How do we pay for the implementation side? So, to us, the complete solution is software, hardware, and services and works that I think have to come from Positive or whoever Positive is responsible for. I don't know whether it's been understandable. Yes, I think quite understandable. This is a story in which we would like to reach out to our partners, systems integrators. Integrators could be part of that. I think kind of the chain will be a little longer than that. A Positive, customer, bank, and the integrator, the vendor of hardware may be added into this kind of big tent. But the idea is that if our customer wants to make effective cybersec, positive software, non-positive software, positive hardware, non-positive software, hardware, we can talk to the bank. So I go to my account manager and I tell him, go and get together a big team about this, yes? Well, you can go to your account manager, to our sales force. All large customers have their account managers on CyberSec, and they already look several years down the road. But if you don't have a contact at our sales force, you can ask Irina. And if you are a customer of any bank you see on stage, you can ask them and they will lead you to the same place. Well, I can share my experience. We not only financed implementation and deployment, but also the technical support. When we crafted this product together with our colleagues, this was part of the complete product. Software licenses, hardware, deployment, implementation, and a certain term of technical support. The best entry point is your account manager at Salesforce. So they come to us and they say, we want financing for this, even though it may be a long sale, we can provide any consultation and any service. Okay, we have a question online from Nikita Alexeyev. Can I borrow for one package and a little later borrow for another package of products, because it is always a long story. Well, the answer is, it is possible. We are looking at various options, but we don't want to create a situation in which all your software needs would be satisfied with financing, but financing could go on top of your core cybersec budget. So the idea is not to cannibalize core sales with sales financed by borrowing. We want to stimulate our partners, distributors. We want to do all this in order to push forward our strategic objective. Our strategic objective is to bring our customers to the highest possible level of InfoSec. And the highest possible levels of InfoSec are not reached within 1 month or 2 or 1 year. Normally, it is 2 to 3 years in which you split your contracts every year. Of course, you may think about buying a product with borrowed money and then another product with some other source. But to us, this will be less of a priority. Because it's important to us that customers understand that they want to get to the highest level of cybersecurity quickly. We have learned from, bug bounties, from cyber drills, that such huge mega stories should come quickly, and they don't want to ask their corporates for liquidity every time and so on. So this is a more comprehensive approach. So our financing limits can be established for the entire product, but we can release financing installment by installment, of course.
Спасибо. Так, чисто финансовый вопрос. Следующий пойдет от Константина. Насколько оптимальны сроки предоставления финансирования вашим клиентам и велик ли процент отказа банков?
What is the typical maturity, and is Positive ready to be a regress partner if we're looking for a short-term financing? So what are the terms of how quickly can the money become available? Well, if there is an open limit for the bank, we can withdraw the money quickly, and then the bank will replenish that limit within their corporate procedure. On being a regress agent, I don't think we're ready for that because we're a publicly traded company, but we can talk to banks, maybe not on a program, but maybe a pinpoint subsidization. We are flexible about that. Talk to me, talk to Andrey, talk to our account manager, to your account managers. We can structure any deal. We are also discussing a product which we call regress-free factoring with our banks. We already know how it should work, and I think we will launch it later in this year. It will be less risky for banks, and I think the banks will have a more straightforward procedure for that. For companies who are not in a very good financial position at this point. Banks always have to look at the customer first, to look at their financial position, whether we can roll over a loan. Maybe if Positive Technologies subsidizes an interest rate and we do not worry about the repayment, we can mix products. So you can take this billion rubles worth of licenses with with a lower interest rate, but we understand that this will decrease your overall interest rate in your credit portfolio, that we can not only help you with a particular product, but this can help us create a tighter relationship with you in terms of maybe some other products and services that the bank can offer. So to us, this is the added benefit. Western vendors do not take recourses. So we sell risk. We are the banks, and this is why this is kind of our territory. Another question, and I think that will be the last question, considering the time limit from Vladimir Dergachev. What is the possible range of subsidies? Do you think it's better to subsidize this to the bank than to discount it directly to the customer? What do you think about this? Well, we did have big discussions about discounts on PTFS. We don't give discounts normally, and to us this is not a discount. This is a comprehensive story. I want liquidity to implement my InfoSec and CyberSec program. We think that it's right for our customers, not just buying a product and putting it on the shelf, buying defensibility and buying protection. We also understand that when you want more info security, you go to your corporate finance, you ask them for budgets, and you don't get the budgets. This is what we're offering. We're offering you a solution to this problem. And when we have internal discussions about this, and when we talk to when we talk to people in government who might also be interested in that, we really don't want a commercial organization to subsidize the entire market. We want to kickstart this market, but then I think we want support to come from financial partners and eventually from the government. Since we are looking at a possible consolidation of the industry, I think we will be there, maybe not today, maybe tomorrow. This is why we're not looking at discounts at this moment. The range of subsidies, depending on the situation and depending on the customer strategy, I think it can be quite unique. 5-7% single digits. We may subsidize most of the interest rate in some special situations, of course, but there needs to be a special situation. So, if you go to our sales force, if you ask them about PTFS, ask them a question, tell what your needs are, and we will come eventually to a certain point that's comfortable for everyone. But of course, we're not going to assume any risk in the borrowing. As far as I understand, our next session comes at 11:30, 11:40, so we do have some time. So I'd like to talk a little bit about government support, future government support. You have seen a lot of things in the past. What is the government comfortable with supporting and providing public money for? Do you think it's possible to talk to government about providing public finance to support cybersec? What are the barriers? If there are barriers, is it realistic anyway? Well, I could take this.
буквально 21 мая на Ципре Мишустин
On the 21st of May in Nizhny Novgorod,
субсидировать покупку нового
Prime Minister
российского ПО,
Mishustin
но, к
said
сожалению,
that
очень
the
ограничил
government
список. Это
can
промышленное инженерное ПО, да, к
subsidize
сожалению,
50%
туда
of the
не
entire
попало, да.
cost
С
of
чем это
industrial and
связано? Да, была
engineering
озвучена
software
достаточно
if you buy
большая
Russian
сумма
software.
субсидирования на
Cybersecurity was not
период
part of the
действия
deal.
вот этой вот льготной программы.
And
Но опять-таки,
Prime
тот же
Minister
самый
said that
24 год, это
the
всего 1,5
amount
миллиарда рублей.
is very
Понимаем, в
sizable,
объемах
but it is just 1.5 billion
рынка,
rubles for
мы услышали
2024.
цифру 500
The
миллиардов
overall
рублей, то,
market,
что
if you're talking
требует
about
рынок в части
500 billion
кибербеза,
rubles,
покупки лицензий,
this
ну, это
is,
капля в море. Поэтому
this is just a drop in the
здесь
bucket.
на самом деле позитив, достаточно, будем так говорить, социально ответственно подошел
So I
к
think
тому, что нужно
positive
внедрять, как это нужно делать, и показывает, наверное, пример нашему
displays
государству,
an
как можно
example of
поступать.
corporate responsibility. This is
Я
an
думаю,
example to
что
our
в
government,
любом
what they
случае
should do
что-то будет
tomorrow.
предпринято из ближайшего,
I
то,
think
что сейчас
something
обсуждается в части
will
предложений
materialize.
Минцифры, это
What we've been
продажа
discussing
наших
with
российских
the
продуктов
Digital
на
Development
экспорт.
Ministry
Вот здесь
is
действительно будет до конца года,
subsidizing
скорее
the
всего,
sales
разработана
of Russian
программа.
products
Ваш
to other
продукт
countries.
максимально конкурентен, точно на рынке СНГ.
Your
Я думаю,
product
здесь
is
вас
absolutely
государство обязательно
competitive,
поддержит,
at least
и
in the
точно это
former
будет
Soviet Union
в вашу
market, and
пользу.
I think
Возврат,
the
как
government
говорится,
will support
карма
you, and
вернется
this is how your
обратно в
good
то, что
karma
вы
will, I think,
так положительно на рынок влияете и так
will
помогаете
come back to you,
защищать его.
because
Поэтому я
currently
думаю,
with
это
what
вот то,
you're doing,
что из последнего
you're
на
helping secure the
поверхности
market,
есть
and
сейчас.
this is a very, very positive development on the market overall. Thank you.
С нашей точки зрения расскажем, да, что Alfa Bank участвует во всех госпрограммах, которые существуют.
Alfa Bank is part of all government subsidies programs.
Будет непосредственно подходить вам.
It is true that the government has not come up with anything that would fit you particularly, but I think we need to talk about that. We need to start this dialogue. We need to make ourselves heard at the government level, and we will support any such discussions. If there is a working party that would go to the government, we are ready to participate. Unfortunately, this is something that the government has not thought about this specifically.
Соответственно, те программы субсидирования, которые мы видели в IT-секторе, они очень бутиковые.
The subsidization programs for the IT sector are currently very, quote-unquote, boutique.
Активы могут быть материальные, нематериальные. У вас нематериальный актив. Но в целом, наверное, вот про это. Да, если мы говорим про программу субсидирования активов российского производства, здесь очень хороший можно пример привести про транспорт, про спецтехнику. Да, это те программы субсидирования, которые существовали в лизинге. Да, и это давало колоссальнейший буст российским производителям, колоссальнейший. Да, и
and that was a great boost to Russian manufacturers of construction hardware, of construction vehicles, of agricultural vehicles, and so on. So if the government finds money for not boutique programs, but massive programs for 10, 20, 30 banks and the same number of vendors, I think this will be a great boost to the sector. Such programs will improve sales, and they make Russian products more competitive. That is true. So we don't have any more questions? No, we don't have any more questions. Let's choose the best question.
Выбирай, я даю тебе право.
Well, you choose. We have another question? Yes. If we have another question, we have some time, so let's get the microphone there.
Здравствуйте, коллеги. Меня зовут Василий.
Hello, everyone. I'm Vasily.
И тоже принимал участие
I represent Sber.
Наш спикер не смог участвовать, но вопрос задам.
Our speaker could not participate on the panel, but I can ask you a question on the floor. What is the position of banks and the vendor on reaching out to distributors? What could be their role in this
маркетинга этого продукта и приучения, в том числе тех клиентов, которые ищут результативную кибербезопасность, пользоваться такими продуктами? Или вендоры предпочитают
distributors should market such products, or should the marketing stay on the vendor side? Well, maybe I'll repeat myself answering, but we are not thinking about this as a marketing product. This is primarily a financial product, a lending product, which should make it possible for our customers to reach the levels of InfoSec and CyberSec that otherwise they could reach just in 5 to 7 years. So we're not thinking about marketing this product. However, just like I said, we do not want to monopolize this big tent. We want to make this tent as big as possible. We have hundreds of partners, we have distributors, and we are ready to talk to that about distributors, because distributors are our co-contractors under large CyberSec contracts, and we are ready to engage people from our industry and from adjacent industries, I think. The point now is to make our voice heard, is to spread the word about this initiative, and if anyone wants to chip in, I think we would be open to that. We would talk to other banks, like I said, we would talk to our partners, we would talk to our distributors, and I think we'll find a solution for every customer. I don't think we will ever get to a situation in which, we will have a factory of borrowing, like in cars or in mortgages. And we don't want it to be a machine to maximize sales. We have just asked ourselves, is this our problem to help our customers get financing, or is this not our problem? But when you go to large corporations, you have chief information security officers who talk to our sales force, and actually they're not often on the same page with their corporate finance. And when they come to their corporate finance and say, we want money for 3 years ahead, a lot of the corporate finance people just shake their heads and say, hey, do you think you have the biggest need in this company? But when they come to the corporate finance together with someone who can really help them make their corporate finance understand, I've given you an example of how I talked to corporate finance. Corporate finance says, yeah, that is interesting, that is not stressful for the group, but anyway, I will have to spend the same amount of money only in a piecemeal fashion. We don't want to do any big marketing campaign on this, but we really want our customers to be protected now. That is the fundamental. Okay, any more questions from the floor? Yes. Can I ask a small question, a very simple question? I'm here. Okay.
Для конечного покупателя у нас там в зависимости от нормы доходности каждого банка мы имеем.
For the end user, for example, we have 16% key interest rate, and the bank charges up 2 percentage points, 3 percentage points, depending on the maturity. So this subsidy that comes from positive, is it 5, 10, 15 percentage points? How do you calculate this? Well, I think we have answered this question kind of 15 minutes ago. The subsidy will depend on a specific deal, on what we sell, on what the term of financing is, because we have to calculate the economics of our project as well. So currently, this is calculated on a case-by-case basis. The discount could be from from several percentage points. Andrey said that in some exceptional situations, we can subsidize the entire interest rate. So it is not standardized yet. And we have different products. With some banks, we have factoring and leasing and or only borrowing. It's important to understand that our projects may be with different content, with different margins, profit margins, and so on. So if you take an off-the-shelf a licensing product, or if you take a uniquely built product with our hardware and so on, it's a different story with different profit margin. So anytime you create a customized story for InfoSec, you need to create a unique story for financing. Otherwise, we get to averaging, we get to factory, we get to marketing, and so on and so forth. We're looking at, dozens, hundreds maybe of deals, but each deal will be unique. And Irina and her team will look into each situation, will look into each customer, into each distributor, and so on. Well, just like in our bank, any deal will be considered on its individual merits. Okay, distinguished colleagues, I'd like to thank you very much for your great questions. Our discussion was useful. Thank you for being with us. Who wins the prize? Tell me. Well, if you give this right to me, I think I will give the prize to Vasily from Sberbank. Thank you for the interesting question. We know that you wanted to be part of the plenary discussion. Unfortunately, it did not materialize, and I'd like to thank you primarily for being